Now, let me say this. Somebody needs to hear this, like I said earlier. Others might not. But if you remember this for when you need it, it will be there for you. And that's the thing I want you guys to get. If you remember this for when you need it, it'll be there for you. So my kids have been committed to winning. We had a long talk. We don't just say, hey, do you want to win? We break down what winning is. And we had a long talk about what it is. And then we give them the opportunity to decide if they want to be a part of it. Not just say, oh, you're going to be a winner, because that. That's bullshit. We let them decide if they're going to be a winner based on what winning requires. So I've been sharing with them different steps in winning, and I've shared 3 so far. And it's 3 based not on what someone else says, but based on what I realize that in my life winning has required of me. So step number 1 was and is to control your mind. Step number 1 in winning is to control your mind. And again, these are based not on what other people say, but they're based on what I know winning has required of me. Control your mind, because there's always going to be times where you are told or you tell someone or your mind tells you that you can't do it. I'm going to give you an example. Today was Ethan's first day working out with me officially in the gym. And while we're working out in the gym, things got hard. He said can't like 5 times, and you know in my house that's a curse word. You don't say that word, right? So it was tough, and then finally I told him this is your last thing to do, and when he was done, guess what I did? I stacked one more thing on him. And then what I did was I told him, your last thing you're gonna do is lay down on this bench. Now, if you don't know, in our gym, in our house, we have a tonal machine. It is a magnet-based cable machine. So I put the bar on there, laid him down, put the weight on his chest, and made him do bench press. And then we did a light set, and then I raised it. I doubled the weight. But before I doubled the weight and had him lay down, I said, look, if this bar falls on your neck, what's gonna happen? He said, I'm gonna die. I said, you're right, you're gonna die. Lay down. So I doubled the weight, I made him lay down, and then bam, I made him knock out 2 of them. I said, Ethan, you've just done an entire workout. That was insanely heavy. How did you do it? And the short of his answer was, I didn't want to die. I said, exactly. Control your mind. You see, what you've got to realize is in the situation that you may die, you can remarkably accomplish other things, because you as a person have this reservoir of power that you never touch until ultimately you need it. And he needed it. Now, I would have never let that weight fall on Ethan. I was standing over him, literally spotting him. But he didn't realize that, because every set we did before then, I would not help. I was just there for safety, right? So this last set where I doubled the weight, I actually had to help him. It was very, very heavy. He shouldn't be able to lift it. So I was there and I was lifting it and helping him. But the bottom line is he didn't know that. All he knew was this cannot fall on my neck. So controlling your mind allows you to access that back end reservoir. So then step 2 in winning is winning requires respect. Winning requires respect, not just for other people, but for what you're doing. Because a lot of people will say, I'm all in, I'm committed, and then you'll Netflix and chill when you know you've got 2 offers to write. But, oh, it can wait until tomorrow. But you know you have something to do now. Or it'll be, well, I just want to go here, when you know you should be at home spending family time, or whatever it is. Or it'll be, well, I'm just going to cheat this 1 rep because no one's looking. Or, you know what, I was going to run 2 miles, but I'm a little tired, so today I'm going to run 1. Winning requires respect, and winning's always watching. So if you're not respecting what winning is, then you're just biting yourself in the ass. For example, you're going and you're playing lacrosse, and I say lacrosse, obviously, because Ethan plays lacrosse. And your coach is here, and you're here, and your coach says, all right, guys, everybody bring it in. You can walk in, or you can run in, and what most kids do is this. They run in, and then they start walking right here, like 10 feet out. I don't know why. It's like they get this thing, oh, I'm close enough. Or you can sprint to the coach, literally forcing the coach to be your stopping point, right? Because winning requires that you respect it, and it said, bring it in. And bring it in when you're on that hustle, when you're on that win, means you're bringing it in all the time. We talked about this with greatness, right? Required all the time. And then you have step 3. Winning requires you to be vocal unless you're not supposed to. Winning requires you to be vocal unless you're not supposed to, because someone's got to lead everybody else. Someone's got to lead not just by doing, but by saying. Someone's got to say, all right, guys, full sprint to the coach. Someone's got to be that example. But someone's got to make sure that their mouth is shut while the coach is talking, right? It's not just I'm vocal, so because Winning said talk. Winning said talk when it's time to lead. Don't just talk anytime you want. So we're going through these 3 steps. Now, back up. Ethan tried out for a club lacrosse team. There's 2 tryouts. The first tryout he did spectacularly, but you got to understand, before that he was at another tryout. It had to be 100 degrees in the morning. He went to this tryout, got done, and was physically dead, exhausted, barely could walk, couldn't function, tears coming down his eyes, everything. He poured it out on that field and didn't know there was another tryout for another team 3 hours later. So 3 hours later, he's got another tryout. But so here's what I did. I said, all right, we're going to go home. We're going to prep ourselves. We're going to get so we carb loaded them. We put some protein in them. We stretched them, massaged them, filled them up with water, hyperhydrated. And then the brain talk started. The brain talk, get in his head. You got this, you got this, you got this. He goes to that tryout. Bam, before the second tryout, which was this Saturday, he makes the team. Didn't even have to wait. He was dead. Had no idea how he would function. Went there, died on that field, put it all out, and then before even the second tryout started, I get a phone call from the coach inviting Ethan to play on the team. Now here's what I want you guys to understand. Making the team doesn't mean you don't go to the second tryout. It just means when you're at the second tryout, it's a practice. That's it. So the coach said, yep, I want Ethan at second tryout, and I want him to challenge the other players. So now we're driving. Me and Ethan, we're in the Jeep. We're driving to the second tryout on Saturday. I say, Ethan, listen, we need to have a talk. You got to understand your role here. What are the 3 steps in winning? He tells me. I said, Ethan, today is about you being vocal. It's about you being a leader. Today is about you stepping up and showing up, and you got to understand that you can do this. You need to do more, push more, give more than anybody else. I said, you need to be the leader today. Yes, you already made the team. Now you got to show the coaches why they invited you to already make the team. So we're going and we're talking. I say, Ethan, let me tell you a quick story. Kobe Bryant, one of the best basketball players there's ever been. Kobe Bryant prepares like no one else. I read this story from another player. I don't even remember who the other player was or is, but somebody here might know who he is. But he tells this story about playing Kobe, and it was just about Kobe's preparation. He tells this story about playing Kobe, and he says, I was playing Kobe, and the whole game, Kobe would just whisper these random numbers. The entire game, he'd whisper these random numbers. So Tony Allen was the other player. And he says he did it the whole game, and finally, at the end of the game, after the game ended, I went and I had to research what were these numbers. He said it was the birth dates to all of my cousins. Kobe Bryant memorized all of his cousins' birth dates just to fuck with his head, and just kept repeating them the whole game. I said, Ethan, that's the Mamba mentality. I said, you got to realize, you like Kobe, you think about this, but you got to realize what he did in order to earn the respect that he got, in order to earn the success that he got. I said, Ethan, you have to understand what winning takes. And I said, you also need to know that I know what winning is. I said, the things that we have in our life, they haven't fallen in our lap. We weren't born with these things. All these things have been earned. No one handed us anything. I said, me and Mom had to work our asses off to get to where we are. This is what winning is about. And I said, Ethan, the best part is my blood is in you. I said, my blood is running through you right now. So you have a piece of this winning. And I said, let me tell you something else. The better part about it is this. Not only is my blood rushing through you right now, but God is in you right now. And God is the most powerful being there ever has been and ever will be. I said, Ethan, not only is God the most powerful being there ever has been or ever will be, but God flat out said, I am in you. I said, Ethan, what can beat God? He says, nothing. I said, what can defeat God? He says, absolutely nothing. And I say, you're right. And I said, so if nothing can defeat God, I know what winning is. I'm in you. God is in you. What can stop you? And he said, absolutely nothing. I said, exactly. So we get out of the car. We walk up to the field. I said, Ethan, don't run. I said, Ethan, don't run to the field. Right now, I want you to take in everything we spoke about. And all I want you to do is just bring all this home as you walk to the field. But after you cross that line, you are in the Mamba mentality. You need to turn into something different. You need to be a beast, a machine. So we walk. We're still talking a little bit. We're adding little quibs in. We're doing little things. And we just keep talking. We get up to registration, and the registration, it's twofold. You can line up here and talk to the women and register, or you can line up here and talk to the women and register. We just happen to walk past here and go here. No reason. There's no one on either side. But we go here and we say, hey, yeah, Ethan Gert is here to register. The lady grabs a penny. A penny, if you don't know, is a jersey. It's a practice jersey. So she grabs a penny and she has it in her hand and she says, well, what year are you guys? And we say, we're 2027. And when we say we're 2027, she says, oh, wait a minute. As she's about to hand Ethan a penny, she says, no, you got to go to that side. She's registering the 2027s. I'm registering the 2026s. Now, I also want you to know that there's no reason she couldn't go over there and grab that clipboard. There was no rule to this, but it's just how they said it. So she said, do that. Okay, no problem. There's still no one there. So we walk over to this side. Gertis, got it. He's highlighted in yellow as someone that already made the team. Great. The lady looks down, grabs a penny, and it's number 8. Kobe's number. Ethan smacks me on the chest and says, Dad, look. I said, I told you. God's co-signing everything we said. All you got to do is work for it. All you got to do is earn it. All you got to do is believe it. Because everything else is telling you. It's flat out telling you right now, you got this. There's nothing that can stop you. We went through every logical, every reasonable example, and then God told you supernaturally, I will show you that you've got this. Guys, there was a stack of pennies. There were tons of kids. What were the chances that the next penny on top, number face down, was going to be Kobe's number? And then we move forward, guys. As if that wasn't good enough, we move forward. Later on, the coach goes into this app we have and he says, all right, guys, put the numbers you want for your jersey. And we put 17 because Ethan's birthday's on the 17th and that's his favorite number and that's a number he always wants. And I talked to him about 17 and we were like, oh, well, Dad, well, 1 + 7 = 8. So it's kind of like Kobe's number anyway. So this is really cool. And then another kid that played on the team who fairly enough gets first dibs. They played on that team last year. Guess what? He was number 17. So we got stuck with number 8. Every single thing fell into place to prove the point. And that's what I really want you guys to get. Look, that practice was hard as shit. It was insanely hard. All of them were hard. But everything fell into place exactly how it was supposed to. Not because everything's always going to fall into place, but because when you put in the work, when you put in the effort, everything will land exactly where it should, whether you understand it or not. So this was a perfect example of how all you got to do is show up, put up, and be willing to die on that field every single day. And if you do that, you're guaranteed to win. That's it. Meeting's over. Thanks, guys.